Hey everybody, we're on screen, off screen. Conlon couldn't join us this week. Hopefully, he'll join us next week. So you just get me and Josh, probably half of Josh today. um, but we'll get right into it. Um, Josh, what's your first topic for today?
Oh, only one topic today. I decided to watch Notting Hill. Uh, this was after our shared topic. It kind of inspired me to want to watch something wholesome and happy and romantic. And Conlon, just a couple of weeks ago, watched this movie and was like, "This is great. It's one of the best ever romance movies." So I decided to watch it. Um,
This was
and
his
Conlon,
British one, right?
yeah, the one where
Hmm.
Julia Roberts plays Julia Roberts, and Hugh Grant is somehow running a travel bookstore. Why a travel bookstore and not just like a bookstore? I have no idea. That would just guarantee your imminent failure, because bookstores themselves don't do well. Why would you narrow it down to just travel books? Is beyond me. But that's what it is. Uh, and Conlon couldn't be more wrong about this movie. This movie is all garbage. If you swapped the positions around, right? If you said the male was the famous guy and she was the quirky, down to earth one, um, you would say he is full of himself and she is pathetic and she deserves better. And if you swapped it around so that I don't remember where I was going with that. Uh, Basically, neither of them get over that she's famous, right? There's no
Hmm.
like bonding scene where he realizes, oh, she's so much more than a famous girl. They're sitting around a table with his family that she invites herself to. He's like, she asks him if he's free, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. It's my sister's birthday." And she goes, "Well, I'll be your date to that." And it's like, "Okay, no one invited you, Julia Roberts." Uh,
It
Kind of
wasn't an
bold
open.
to just assume that that was an invitation, because where I come from, that was not an invitation. So she just invites herself, and everybody fawns over how beautiful she is and that she's a famous actor and whatnot. And then they get to dinner. Everybody's freaking out that she's famous and whatnot. And then they have this conversation that's like, whoever has the most pathetic life gets to have the last brownie. So they start talking about how uh, Hugh Grant's um, best friend that was hosting this party uh, got in an accident, lost the use of her legs, and now she can't have children. And how her sister is at a dead end job, struggling financially, and always chooses to date these horrible, abusive men. Right? Very significant things. And so they get around and they get to Hugh Grant, and they're like, he's at a dead end job. Uh, he's getting fat, XYZ, whatever. And it goes to this awkward silence. And he's like, well, I guess I won the brownie then. And she speaks up. Julia Roberts does it. Goes, let me tell you about my life. Hold on. It's not that easy. And they're like, okay, go ahead. And she's like, well, I got a nose job and a chin job. And I'm afraid that people are going to realize that I'm not a good actress as soon as I get older and I'm not as hot anymore.
Julia Roberts stole a brownie away from a cripple.
Well, no, they didn't give her the brownie. They were like, yeah, no, that doesn't
Okay.
work, right? And I'm
I'm
like,
gonna give her the brownie.
how dare you speak up and be like, oh, my last movie I made $15 million, which was a scene that happened right before this. And we're having this competition about how tragic our lives are. And wheelchair can't have kids, married to guy who can't cook, doesn't get the brownie and decides to speak up and be like, my life is tragic too. And I was like, shut up. You just made $15 million for 6 months of work.
Yeah.
Okay? Screw you and your peddly ass problems. Nobody made you get a nose job. Nobody made you get a chin job or whatever that was. Like,
Yeah, not
get
everyone can
over
afford that.
yourself. Yeah. Oh, I remember where I was going with it earlier. I was like, if you switched it around so that they weren't British, right? Same scenario, famous girl, uh, down to earth guy. Let's say it was set in New York. Like, you get rid of the British charm of it. You'd be like, these people suck. They're horrible human beings. Like,
Yeah. Was
they're
there
so
any?
cocky and irritating. Like, this is rated as one of the most romantic movies of all time. And it's like, this is. So, Conlon often freaks out about how, what's that movie called? The Notebook. Sets such unrealistic expectations for romance. This is right up there with it. This one is like, oh, find a guy who will be absolutely pathetic. Uh, just be an absolute loser, have zero integrity, goes back on his word, uh, have this part where they haven't seen each other for like 8 months, and he's just fawning over her like nothing good in the world can happen without this woman. Um, it was, and like at the end of the day, they're like, she's famous, he's not. How romantic. They're oh, I'm like, no, he's not the peasant boy, farm boy from The Princess Bride who actually cares and actually has values and all this other stuff. He is just a pathetic loser guy in a loser job who's just pathetic for her. It was not what I wanted to watch. And I was like,
Mm,
I feel bad for anybody who looks at this and goes, this is what romance should look like. Because it's not. That is not what romance should look like at all.
mm. Why do you think that? Because I feel like whenever Conlon's like, "This is a good romance movie," I feel like it normally doesn't hit for you. Why do you think that is?
Because Conlon and I view romance very differently. I agree with him about the Notebook. I think it is disgusting the way that the girl cheats and is like, but I still love you, and that should be enough. Like, that is just sick and wrong, and people should be setting their expectations that way. But, like, I am a big romance person. I love the cheesiest, stupidest romance movies out there. Um, Rom coms are probably my favorite genre of movie. I absolutely love them. I love the happiness. I love, oh, quirky girl, right? If you go look at, like, She's All That, right? You got this quirky little nerdy girl, and you've got guy who's arrogant but is kind to, like, nerdy guys who gets kind of baited into the bet, right?
Yeah.
And so through spending time, right, you see these layers come down, and each person kind of realizes there's more to the other person than they actually thought. If you take it to anime, there's more than a married couple, less than lovers, and that's what the whole anime is. Is right. He's a nerdy guy. He gets paired up with the hottest girl in school, and right, like he learns that like that's just a front. She's not really that confident. She has layers. She's smarter than she gives credit for. Um, she just puts up that persona because that's what people expect, right? when we look at Notting Hill, it's not a persona. She is just a cocky, irritating, rich actress girl. And we don't see layers come down and things become deeper. Uh, we don't see real like I believe in like real true love, right? I'm a hopeless romantic that way. I absolutely believe in it. We'll talk more about it with our shared topic. Uh, and when it's just layer deep and it sets this expectation that guys just be pathetic for your girls and that's good enough, and girl power, girl boss, treat everybody like crap but say you're sorry in the end and that's enough. I I just don't see true love in that. Like
Yeah.
true love is something really special that can happen to absolutely anybody.
Yeah, it's interesting that like you're like talking about dynamics, and I think one that's always brought up is like Morticia and Gomez. I love specifically. Oh, I can't think of the actor's name, but oh, yeah, I can't think of the. But like he's obsessed about her, but like he's obsessed about his things too. He's like obsessed with life, which includes his love and his family, and that's where I think the obsessed should would look like instead of like making that your personality.
Yeah, and like every relationship is gonna be its own thing, right? The reason Morticia and Adam's family guy Gomez is so great is because he is obsessed with her, but there's more to him than that, and there's more to his love than that. I can't speak too specifically about it. I'm not a big Adams Family person, but like I have this vision in my head that like she's upset with him for whatever, and he gets down and grovels and kisses her, and she goes, "Oh, don't, oh no, I'm still
Hmm.
mad at you," and then slowly just like
Yeah,
okay, that's just adorable. And like
doesn't.
they play off of it with each other. It's not just like imagine that same thing but she is sitting there like looking down on him for doing it.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what Notting Hill is. And it's like
yeah,
guys, you deserve better. Girls, you deserve better than just pathetic obsession. Um, I didn't see what made this work, but again, it's one of the most popular. Like, if you look up top rated romance movies of all time, this is going to be up there. So is The Notebook, but, like, there's
yeah.
better.
I've
There's so much better.
never had. Yeah, I've never seen Notting Hill. Never heard anything good until Conlon talked about it. Actually,
Oh, it had
so
been on my list for years. I love rom coms, and this is always talked about.
mm,
I might
well,
hear more about Notting Hill than I do about The Notebook.
oh really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
like it
So it's
is
like
very highly rated.
the comedy um good because it is a rom-com.
It's it's not really a it's way more romance. Like if there's a scale, right? And this side is romance and this side is comedy. It's like mostly
Romance.
um, romance. There are a few jokes. Um, there's one that found that was funny that I don't think you or Conlon or anybody else really found funny. Um, Basically, she decides she wants to date him, so she asks to date him, and he says no because she treated him like crap, like he should have. And then he talks to his friends, and his friends are like, "You've been pathetic for this girl for like a year now. Go get her." And he turns to her and he's like, "How fast is your car?" And then the next scene is a Peugeot 405 diesel, which you don't know anything about that. I just said that. You've never even heard of a Peugeot because it's a French car. It doesn't even sell in America. And it is like the dumpiest, crappiest little, like, Toyota Camry station wagon kind of car with a slow diesel engine in it for gas mileage and stuff. So like I was like, that's pretty funny for me because I know what that car is and I know how garbage that car is. But like at the same time, it's like I don't really think that was supposed to be a super big joke anyway. There's some dry British humor in it, and I'm a big fan of dry British humor. That's there. I liked that. Um, I didn't like. He has this roommate who's just like every single aspect of bad roommates from every story you've ever heard is that roommate. He
Gross.
walks around in his whitey tighties. He barges into the bathroom. He smokes weed. He talks randomly. He's super weird. He takes messages but doesn't write them down. So there's a scene where Hugh Grant is like, "Wait, she called?" And he's like, yeah." And he's like, "What did she say?" And he was like, I don't know, man. I didn't write them all. You wanted me to write down all your messages?" And it's like, I know that's supposed to be funny, but it's not. It's just uncomfortable. He's shirtless. He's a weird guy. And then at the end, they're just like, "Oh, and by the way, Hugh Grant's sister fell in love with him."
Ew.
By the way, just like that happened off
He's
screen.
never
You didn't see
leaving
it.
you.
Yep. Um, yeah. Just I don't see good romance in it. I didn't see a ton of good comedy. There is a little bit there to laugh at. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not as evil as The Notebook is, but like, still have higher standards, people. Don't accept this.
So, how would you rate it, and are you mad you watched it?
I'm not mad I watched it because it has been on my list for a very long time.
Are you mad it was on your list?
No, like,
Okay.
I still want to see them all. And I know most of them suck. Truly, I know. If you were to, like, critically list rom coms, honestly, if you're looking at them, they're like fours, fives, and sixes. The writing is usually poor. The characters are usually not very great. There's usually a couple of laughs along the way. Like, this is on that list. I'm going to give it a 4.5 simply because I wouldn't rewatch it. If I were to rate it like critically, um, it would probably be like a 6.5. But just the knowledge of like, I would rather watch Black Panther than this. I'm not going to rewatch this ever again. I gotta docket points because
For those reasons.
yeah, I'm never gonna rewatch this again. And if I'm with somebody and they're like, "Let's watch Notting Hill," I'll be like, "How about She's All That? How about The Princess Bride? How about anything actually good, please?" Um,
Black Panther.
yeah. So that's where I put it. Sorry,
Okay.
Conlon, if you're listening to this. Miss ya. Wish you were here, but
Look,
just not very good. I'm sorry.
I want to take bets and see if he'll actually watch this episode. He might.
I wager he won't.
Yeah, I think I'm still half and half. We'll see how I feel by the end.
We'll see.
But
He might. There's a possibility. It's like 55% chance in my mind he won't. But there's a chance. He did listen to part of the episode I did without him last year, so
all
maybe.
right. Well, then let's segue on over to my topic, which is me going back to Gregor the Overlander because I gave this, I continued this series. I think I'm on the, let's see, there's five. I think I'm on the fourth book. Um, it's great. It's actually really nice to listen to at work because, like, I have a 12-hour shift and these books are about like 6 hours. So I can get a book in each shift because every once in a while I have to like pause and like talk to people. So I can listen to like a book a shift. Um, and I think they got better as it went on. I thought the first book was, I was like, okay, I get it. This is, I mean, it did a lot of world introductory and it's a 6 hour like audiobook. And then once that was like solid, and then you could just start discovering more of the world. I really like this series because a lot of the series that I like are adventure, exploration. I like anything that can take me out of my world and make me think about a different world. And at first, I was like, Gregor the Overlander, I'm like, this is lame. This is just under New York City. There's not enough high fantasy for me to get out of my life. But then they like introduced Gregor being a rager, and they introduced let's see, there's in the book that I'm reading now, I haven't finished it, but they didn't have a set prophecy at the beginning. And it was like a lullaby that ended up being a prophecy. And it was so funny because when they like went into this like old nursery, they're like, oh, that's kind of weird to have like as a children's song. And I was like, well, Ring Around the Rosies and all that. So
When the bridge is falling down.
yeah. And so I loved how like she integrated that into this society as well. And then he's like, oh my gosh, that was a prophecy. This like children's song is a prophecy. And it was funny because I caught on to that way before. Like when they first were like singing it, I was like, why is she singing that to the mouse? Who's literally talking about its genocide. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the series. I'm trying to make myself not listen to them at home so that I can still have stuff at work to listen to that I'm like excited to listen to. Um, but yeah, so I'll be done this week with this series definitely. Probably by Friday I'll be finished. But I have changed my ways. I really like it. Don't get claustrophobia anymore. um, yeah.
So, what is going on in the book you're in currently?
So in Gregor the Overlander, he goes. There's entrances to the Underland that we know of. One in Central Park and one in his laundry room. He is getting trained by the rat Riptide, not Riptide. That's a
Riptide.
sword. It's like
Oh,
Rip Rad.
Rip Rat. Yeah.
Um, and he is trying to teach him how to use echolocation. Um, because he's like, if you don't have a light, you're screwed, and the rats can fight without light. So every rat wants to kill you. So you really need to figure out how to fight without light. So we had the first prophecy where Gregor killed the Rat King. Then you had the second prophecy where he was supposed to kill the Bane, which is this white rat, but he found it as a baby and decided to spare it. And then in the third prophecy, he was supposed to solve a plague, find a cure for a plague with the rats. Um, and then they find out that the humans actually made the plague and had the antidote for the plague. And it was driving me nuts because I knew it from the very beginning. With the prophecy, they're like, oh, it's not where you think it is. It's in the beginning. And I was like, it's the freaking humans. So when they made me so mad that they like went to the jungle, killed off a really cool character. And then now we're in the fourth book where the Bane has grown up and is like starting a genocide on the mice. And the queen, I can't remember what her name is, but she has declared war on the rats for killing her friends that are the mice. And Gregor is just like trying to stop war from happening. And he hates that he's called the warrior because he's very um, pacifistic, if that's a word. He's a pacifist, but like when he gets cornered, he'll fight. Um, And so, what just barely happened was basically a direct liking to the Holocaust, where the rats threw the mice in a gas chamber trying to cause a genocide. And Gregor feels horrible because he's like, I spared the baby rat that is now killing all of these mice and like rallying the rats into war. Um, yeah, so that's where we're at.
So, what do you think of the prophecies so far? Because other than that one with the poison that was terribly obvious, I thought the rest were actually really clever. What are your
hmm
thoughts?
Yeah, I do like the prophecies because like they have these humans that try to dissect these prophecies because these prophecies have been written in stone for forever. So like, yeah, we know what this says. We know what this says. This, but like everything has like a double meaning um, in the prophecies, and so I really liked that. And when because I knew they weren't going to kill Boots, I was like, I know Suzanne Collins has killed a child before in her books, but I don't think she would kill Boots. At least not until the end. And I know I have two more books. So, um, like I was planning on plot armor to figure out some of these prophecies. But like I did not see that the Bane was gonna be a baby rat. Um, I was full on being like, why is he still trying to kill this rat if his sister's dead? Like, prophecy over, everything's done. I was like, but I know Boots isn't dead. Maybe she is. She's really laying it on that she's dead. But so I actually really like the Bane's prophecy the most because I think that was the one that caught me. Because when he goes down into the tunnel and the baby's crying out like Boots, I was like, oh, like I even text Josh. I was like, this book is so sad. But yeah, so I do like the prophecy things, and I did like the twist in four where the prophecy wasn't just handed to him because that's like the start of each book because they rope Gregor back into their shenanigans because they're like, oh, there's another prophecy and it says the warrior, so that means you. So
My only irritation with that was like, why didn't they tell him there was more prophecies up front? Like once
yeah,
they established he was quote unquote the warrior, he comes back and he's like that Pikachu meme. It's like shock. There's another prophecy, and I was like, you saw the room in like the second book. You know there's more prophecies.
pretty freaking
Mention the
rude.
warrior. Um, it's pretty rude of those humans not to let him know that like, hey, you're not done here. There's more for you. But like, I understand that was more like Susan Collins going like, oh, I want to write another book, and not necessarily thinking that through.
Yeah,
You also liked the pirate rat girl in the
pirate.
jungle. She's the one that dies in the jungle.
Oh yeah. There. Let's see. I really hope she comes back. But Boots always called her Ow because her nose got hurt. She was like the
Mm-hmm.
super sniffer.
Uh huh.
I really
Yeah.
liked that one. I love
Yep.
her. And it made me really sad. There's like this moment where they've explained to Gregor that this rat has been alone for like years.
Yeah.
And he wakes up to what he thinks is his little sister snuggling his leg and looks down and sees that it's the rat snuggling up to
Yeah.
his leg. And I was like,
Yeah.
I literally was like, I was like sanding a piece at work and I was like trying not to cry. It
Yeah.
was so good. But then there is also the other rat in the jungle. She didn't die, did she?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know her, wait, did she die by the ants?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
No, it was one where they didn't expressly like show her dying,
Yeah, it was more of like
but
the after.
It was more like heavily implied that she couldn't live.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the one that I was like, that's the saddest death in any middle grade book I have ever read. I absolutely love her for that same reason. I remember the reading the or listening to the part where she snuggles up to Gregor's leg, and you're like, she's opening up. That's so sweet, you know. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next line is like, and they get cornered. She gets stabbed in the nose, and she dies. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's tragic.
Wait, there's another rat in the jungle with them, not the super sniffer.
Yeah, it's the super sniffer one.
I'll need to go back because I swore it was a different rat. The
There
one that
are
was like
other
trying to
rats,
save her
but
pups.
yeah, the mom rat. That one is also pretty tragic.
Yeah. Um, because I still thought that Super Sniffer was with us. I need to go back.
I'm
But
pretty sure she's not.
well,
If I'm
maybe I won't go back
misremembering, let me
and I'll just
know.
keep
But like, I'm
believing.
pretty sure.
Because yeah, I've been waiting for her to come back. Because I'm like, I feel like this would be a good time for her to come back and like save the day. Because like I thought when he was practicing with Rip Rad, and all the lights went out, and he was hoping for Rip Rad because he was going to Rip Rad to kill the Bane, and then this these other rats ambushed him instead. And I thought the Super Sniffer was gonna save him at that point instead of him finding his way out by the lantern that he left. But if you're right, she's already dead. So, oof.
What do you
Yeah.
think of Rip Rad?
I have a love hate relationship with him. Because, like, he's saying the right things, but he's a jerk about it. And I, like, so I'm like, I get it, Rip Rabbit. You could go about that differently. And then he has like these soft moments. And then, because there's like that moment where he was getting mad at the one rat for checking out. And Gregor's like, okay, enough. Leave her alone. I know her fur needs to get cleaned or whatever. He's like, I'll do it. And so, like, Gregor painstakingly cleans this rat. And Rip Brad's like, okay, whatever. But like, Rip Brad was like, basically physically abusing this rat trying to get her back on her feet. It's like, yeah, she needs to not check out, but you don't need to freaking like bite her. So I love hate relationship with him because he comes in clutch, but sometimes I think in the wrong way. So
Okay, I just love him. Cause in that scene, isn't he like thinking about how humans don't treat rats that way and how sweet it is? Or am I misremembering that?
that humans don't treat rats.
When he's cleaning the rat's wound, doesn't Rip Rad say something, or isn't it from his point of view where he's like,
I
humans don't do
don't.
that?
Oh, yeah, I think there's like a part where everybody was like kind of watching Gregor being like, what? This is weird. What are you doing?
Yeah,
But
humans don't care for rats, but like Gregor does, and he's like, oh, that's really nice of him to do, and
yeah. And I
it's kind of
like,
cool.
there was this one quote where Gregor had seen his bat that he bonded with had the plague, and he didn't want the rats. He's like, I wouldn't even wish this on my worst enemy or whatever. And everybody's like, well, you forgive too easily, Gregor. And he's like, no, I don't. But I don't believe anybody should die like this. He's like, I'm still pissed at a lot of the rats, but he's like, not all rats. So
Yeah,
it's,
it's almost as if people should be held accountable for their actions and not just their race or color or
mhm.
whatever.
That's
Kind of interesting.
like, I'm with you that I think Gregor the Overlander is underrated. Yeah, underrated. Um, I also think that it's insane that Suzanne Collins, who's pretty well known, like I had no idea that she wrote these books. And then when you mentioned it, I was like, what? She has things other than it's the Hunger Games, right? Yeah, I'm like, what? And it's funny because I can see a little bit of Hunger Games in them, a little
Oh, I
bit.
couldn't at all. I remember being like, Susan Collins wrote this before Hunger Games? She became such a worse writer after this?
No, it's like with the relationship of like Gregor is like basically raising Boots, where like Katniss was
That's
raising
fair.
Primrose. That's the only thing that I could see that was like that, and that like Gregor is super poor and Katniss's family is super poor. So I'm like, Suzanne Collins, did you grow up really poor? Because it seems to be.
Did you happen to be raised by, or did you happen to raise a sibling?
Yeah,
I wonder if there's that theme there. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair. I didn't think about that. I remember I do really like the first Hunger Games book, but the rest of them are crap.
Hmm.
Um, I remember reading Gregor the Overlander in my adult life for the first time all the way through. I read the first one in elementary, but that was it. And I was like, these are consistently good. What happened, Susan Collins? You used to write sequels. I still want you to write a sequel. I will, to this day, want you to write another Gregor the Overlander book because of how this series ends. Um,
Hmm.
but no, you went off and you wrote the Hunger Games series, and like, props to you. That one is definitely more popular, but this one is so much better. It's not even close.
It is funny too because I realized that like you're getting a different um like area to explore. So like I feel like the second one you have kind of like the ocean, and then
Yeah.
the third one is the jungle, fourth one
Mm-hmm.
is like lava and hot. Oh my gosh, and I hate the lightning bugs. They can die. And I love how much like everybody hates the lightning bugs.
Because they're total wads.
They are
They
lost.
suck.
But I did like I felt a little bit bad when they popped up because they kind of popped up in their home. They're like, "You guys live here?" And they're like, "Yeah, the snails invaded us and no one's helped us." And they're like, "To be fair, we didn't even understand that you were being invaded because anybody could fight off a snail." But yeah, it was really funny that they're like I really like that she has characters that are hateable and then ones that are like she's really good at writing characters and these different groups and things. Um and yeah, and she's really good at making me hate the humans in this series.
Not all the humans, though.
Not all the humans, but because like Greg keeps saving people and then they're like but you didn't save them how we wanted you to save them, so you're on trial and we might kill you and you're bad because we don't like your bad either. And I'm like, goodness, how many freaking prophecies does this little boy, because he's like 10 in the first book and then he's 12 now. He just barely turned 12. And I'm like, you're putting all of your whole society and putting this poor child on trial after you just traumatized him. Oh, I get so angry when they keep doing that. I'm like, he's a baby. He keeps doing all these things, but he's still a kid. Just because his sister's more of a baby. Oh, anyway. So that's
Okay.
why. Oh, sorry. What?
No, go ahead.
That's why I really liked the oh, his name's not Hector, but the jungle dude, because he was the first person to treat Gregor like a child. And he's like, "You are a pup. Like, you're a pup with all the rest of the kids. We need to keep you to have water. We need you to keep drinking water." So it was a nice eye opener that the author didn't forget that Gregor's a kid.
Okay, two more questions for you. The first one is, Was Gregor the Overlander wrong? Should he have killed Baby Bane?
I mean, hindsight, you're like, yeah, kill that rat. But I don't think he was wrong. Um, yeah, I don't think he was wrong.
Okay, you heard it here first. Lauren would save Hitler's life. Um,
You did not
it's
put baby
literally the
Hitler.
Holocaust. It is literally, should you kill baby Hitler? That is literally the situation.
No, I
And you're
would
like,
kill. I would
no.
kill Twisted Tongue. Twist Tongue. The lady rat
Um,
that's good at manipulation. I would get rid of the people that manipulated the. I would have kept the Bane and tried to raise it to be good.
okay, you heard it here first. Lauren's gonna kidnap baby Hitler,
I'll let him
tear
go to
him
art
away from
school.
his family,
I'll let him.
and raise him herself.
I'll let him get accepted into art school. Because that's where it all went wrong.
Okay, last question. Would you rate each book that you're in
um,
so far on a scale of 1 to 10? And then the series as a whole so far.
First one was a 7. Second was an 8. Third, like 7.5. And this fourth one's back to an 8. Um, so I would say the whole is an 8.
Okay. And Fablehaven for you is like a 9.5.
Yeah.
So it's not even close. Okay. That's
No,
fair.
it like
I'm sorry you don't get it.
you just don't get it.
Just don't get it. Sorry you don't understand.
It's I still really like I have to wait till the whole thing's done till I can properly rate it. But
Yeah, but how many Fablehaven books for you are over a 9?
over a 9?
Yeah. Or at a 9.
There's 2 that are at a 9.
Okay.
So the other ones
5.
I would have as like 8s.
Okay.
So
So if the last 2 Gregor the Overlander books are 9s, then we would
then
be in contention.
then it would be competing with Fablehaven. But we all know I weirdly really love Fablehaven.
I'm not mad at it. I really like Fablehaven too. I think that you can just skip the first book and it's a great time.
Yeah, I think I have like more sentimental things towards Fablehaven that I don't think anything can de-seat Fablehaven for
That's
me.
fair.
So
That's
that's why I'm like, don't compare it to that. I would compare it to Levin Thumps, Percy Jackson, and those, and I would say it's right there with those. So
yeah, I have the sentimental tie to Percy Jackson series, and even I'm like, Gregor the Overlander is so much better.
I
It's not even close. Like, I absolutely love Gregor the Overlander.
yeah, I feel like you can logic your things and like with what's that called? Like you can be analytical enough to like bump things up, but my I feel like I'm very emotional when I rate things, even when I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I see that this is clearly better, but due to my feelings, it's way better.
that's totally fine. That's totally valid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like I get a lot of people upset with like, this is so much better. I'm like, I understand, I hear you, but it's not.
Well, to be fair, if I were to tell you critically, I don't think Gregor the Overlander is written better than Fablehaven,
Mm.
with the exception of the first half of the first book. Like, if you skip to the part where they're at Grandpa's house and the first night is over when they opened the window, After that, the first book is okay. Um, but with Gregor the Overlander, I don't think that it's necessary to skip the first part. Like,
Yeah, it goes in pretty, like, everything that it talks about is
yeah,
necessary. Which,
like
sorry, you go ahead.
the when I had tried to read Fablehaven like 12 times, and every single time I got to the point where they were in the house in the attic that night. I got to the night, and I was like, I'm so bored. This sucks. I can't do it anymore. Like, as soon as I got through the night and we finally moved on, I was like, okay, I get why people like Fablehaven.
Yeah, I used to think, I don't know why, but I used to hate the second book. But it's actually become one of my favorites. The third, fourth, second, first, fifth is how it goes for me.
Well, I think the second Fablehaven book is the one most directed to older. Um, it's kind of like the author was like, I want the books to age with my audience, so I'm going to mature it a little bit.
Mm,
And then realized, oh, that's not really the right choice because my characters aren't aging with my audience. So I'm going to revert back a little bit.
yeah,
Um, that's my
yeah.
best explanation to that
I
because I'm
think,
with you. I liked the second book, but
yeah,
it
the
is a little
one
bit more
thing
mature.
I didn't like about the second book is, like, she gets a crush on Warren and they're related. And I'm like, you don't need to add that in. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
You could just have them not be related if you had to have that crush there. But it's always weirded me out, and I don't think I will ever get over it. And that's why I have such a weird thing about the second book because I love the tower. Um, but anyway, that was a soapbox. Let's go move on to our shared topic, which I believe was a fan recommendation. I don't know specifically who recommended this. Do you have that?
Uh, Somebody called Mira. She sent me an email.
Okay, so we got an email from Mira saying we should watch Odd Thomas, and I got excited because I've seen it before, and uh, I wanted Colin and Josh to watch this. So let's go on what you think about Odd Thomas.
Okay. Where to begin?
That doesn't sound optimistic.
I absolutely love almost everything about this movie.
You do this
Um,
to me. You make me think you hate it, and then you're like, I loved it.
I hate the ending. I think the ending is utter garbage. Um, I was sitting there watching the ending, and I was like, she's not talking. She's not saying anything. She's dead. She's definitely dead. Um, but I wanted it to be ambiguous with that. Like, I just
Mm,
wanted the movie to end right there. And I wanted fans like me to have observed that and be able to figure out the ending. I thought that would have been a cool thing. But then they have Willem Dafoe walk in and be like, she's dead, bro. And you're like,
like,
oh.
don't treat your audience dumb.
And then
Yeah.
he goes over and he, like, makes out with her. And I'm like, how uncomfortable must that have been for Willem Dafoe to watch this guy go start making out with the air? Because you can't see dead people. You just see.
Oh gosh.
And you're like,
I
oh,
didn't see
gross. Stop watching that. That is nasty.
that.
Right? And I feel like that's absolutely cruel of Willem Dafoe and company to let Odd Thomas think she was alive.
Mhm.
Like, he dealt with maybe she died, he saw her again, and instead of letting him know the truth, you just let him have that happiness and hope again, just to tear it away from him. I think that's absolutely cruel. So I hate that ending. If it was left ambiguous, right? Then in my mind I can have him figure it out.
Yeah.
Um and it be a lot more healthy of a situation. But the fact that like Willem Dafoe knew and decided to just let him think is just awful, awful, awful.
Yeah.
That being said, the rest of this movie is absolutely amazing. I'm very grateful to whoever the person that recommended this. Uh, this is what romance should look like. Uh, that is what romance to me should look like. I love the way they interact with each other. I love that he's quirky and weird. I love that she like plays off that weird instead of judging him for it. I love that she absolutely accepts him 100%, but also makes fun of him and teases him in a healthy way. Um, if I were to be asked the question going forward, hey Josh, what are you looking for in a girl? I'm gonna say watch Odd Thomas and look at Stormy because that is an amazing woman um, dealing with a hard situation um, in Odd's Thomas's abilities and just accepting and loving him and giving him all the reassurance and him doing the same for her and he has these moments of like I kind of want to be able to provide more and be more for you and she's like it'll come, you know, like we're good, things are good, you know. She very clearly wants to move in with him, he's very clearly hesitant, um, but it's not like that stops them from being a couple. She's not holding it as a grudge, she is just being patient with him, accepting him, loving him, and he's doing the same thing for her. That is absolutely great, healthy, perfect. They have problems. They talk about the problems. They deal with the problems. They make a plan for the problems and they move forward with it. There's no grudge holding, there's no petty behavior. There is simple, just adoration and love for each other. It is beautiful. I absolutely love it. Um, I absolutely love the scene, which I originally hated, where she flirts with the cop and I was like, oh, right in front of him. That's just cruel. That's messed up. Not loving that. And then it turns into the scene where he goes, you don't do that to me, do you? And she's like, all the time. But I promise you like it. And he's like, oh, I like it, do I? You know, like they just accept and love each other. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's amazing. Ladies, look for a man like that just absolutely adores you for who you are. Guys, same freaking thing. Look for your Stormy. Screw Jim and Pam. Screw the Princess Bride couple. That is
Oh
peak
my god.
romance right there. Odd Thomas and Stormy is just absolute peak romance. The comedy's great. The ability is unique. I love the special effects in this movie. I think they look really, really great. Um, I my only complaint about this movie, literally the only one, is how it ends. And it's like I like the way everything ties up. I like the mystery, how it ties up. I like that you're given some evidence moving forward and you can kind of piece it together, but it's at the same pace. Like, as you're piecing it together, so is Odd. Um, when he does the whole, like, oh, I remember this from before. It was like, yeah, 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 me too. Like,
I was there with you, bro.
I saw it too, man. I'm right there with you. It was on my list of evidence that you seem to ignore before. But like, as he's piecing it together, you're like, yeah, I see it. You know, it's all making sense now too. I absolutely love this movie. It's great.
Yeah. So what would you rate it?
I
9.8.
have to knock it down because of the ending. Um, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because I do truly hate that ending.
Yeah.
I hate it. But like, it's a Willem Dafoe movie, so of course it's good. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did. I didn't look into it at all. I had never heard of this movie before it
Oh,
was
good.
recommended. I put it on the list because it was recommended. I don't even think you saw it on the list when you recommended it last week as a shared topic. Or
I saw that it was a recommended one, and then that's why
oh,
I was
okay,
like, let's do it. I love
okay,
it.
yeah. I was just like, wow, that was an awful coincidence that you were like, I'm in the mood for Odd Thomas, and I was like, well, just so you know, it was a recommendation this week too. How cool is that? Absolutely love this movie. It's amazing. Just stop like 15 minutes before the end and call it good because that ending's stupid.
That's where
It
I
ruins
stopped.
so much. I love Willem Dafoe's character until that point. Um, yeah, it's great. What did you think?
So I first watched this movie because I really like the actor who plays Odd. And I was trying to find more movies that he was in.
Sorry. What else is he in?
He's in Star Trek, and he is the voice actor for um, Troll Hunter.
Okay.
And so had
Star
just
Trek
like,
is not my thing, but Troll
yeah,
Hunters, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. So I had just finished Troll Hunters, and then I was really sad because I found out that the actor had died. And so I was trying to find other movies that he was in, and I saw Odd Thomas, and so I was like, oh, well, he looks like his main character in that one, so he'll have a lot of screen time. So I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm surprised I haven't ever heard of this before, and that more people aren't talking about it. Um, and it was kind of weird that I had just found out that he was dead when I watched this movie. Um, but I really like his power of he sees like these, I can't remember what they're called, but they follow um they're kind of, they don't bring death, but they like feed off of death. So when they come into town, you know something's going to happen. And in the first bit, you see all of these things swarming in. And it made me so anxious the whole time because I'm like, if I had his power, I'd be so dead. They would know I see them all the time. Because if they notice that you can see them, they like go after you and try to kill you. Um, and so there's this scene with him and Stormy at his work at this diner, and he's trying to play off that he doesn't see this thing, and he sees it like going after Stormy, and so he like yells at her and then like throws this weird kiss, like he throws a kiss at her, and I like how she like catches it from William Dafoe, and she's like, oh, that would have been awkward. But I'm right with you. I really like Odd and Stormy's relationship. And at first, when I saw like what type of character she was, I thought they were gonna go with the she thinks she's too cool for everyone, but that's not what she is. She's just very confident in who she is, and she's very nice to everyone around her. Everybody likes Stormy, and like people don't understand why she likes Odd and how Odd and her get along so well. And I love that there's a
Well, she's a
point.
10 and he's like a 6, so
Yeah.
that's why, right? Like, You have to admit, she is so attractive and he is so not.
I think he's attractive. I specifically looked out movies to
No,
I like him.
no.
Um, but it was interesting because there's a part where he went and looked at this house even though she didn't really want him to do that because she wants him to be safe, and he's like calls her and tells her where he is, and she doesn't like get mad or anything, but she's like, okay, but like you need to be safe about this and stuff, and then she's like, okay, it looks like I just have to tail with you to make sure that you stay safe. And so it's, yeah, it's a uh really wholesome couple. And when I watched it and I saw her not talking at the end, I was like, I thought they got away with it. I thought they got away. I was like, because I could see the ending when she was in the shop. I was like, oh, she's dead. But then she popped back up and I was like, yay. And then she didn't say anything. And I was like, you need to start speaking words because I thought you got away with it. So yeah, this time I watched it, I ended it before William Dafoe came. But yeah, it's a really good.
I I'm right there with you. I love that he like lied to her the first time he was doing something he shouldn't and that she told him not to do. And like he knew immediately that he can't get away with lying to her. And instead of judging him, she's just like, "Okay, I know you are who you are and like but like be safe, please." You know, like look at that wholesome acceptance. Like, she didn't just start whining at him for lying. He was just like, yeah, I knew you were going to do it anyway. I'm not happy you lied to me about what you just did. Thank you for telling me the truth. This is what we need to do. Be safe, please. Or I'm going to start following you around to this creepo's house, you know? And it's
Yeah, I
so healthy. It's so good to see romance like that. It's so good.
that's yeah, that's what I really liked about this movie is that one, you didn't really get like the anxiety that Odd Thomas was going to get in trouble with the police because he had like the William Defoe had his back, and I loved that relationship too, where like William Defoe is just trying to have a date night with his wife, and they keep calling him, and he's like, "What is it now?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just keeping you updated on where we are now." Yeah, so I liked that there wasn't, they didn't feel like they didn't need to have the anxiety of like, oh, the cops are against Odd too. You had this nice little thing that they need to figure out. He had two really good relationships of people who had his back, and yeah, I like this movie a lot.
Well, yeah, just building off of that, like, I've been talking about Stormy's relationship with Odd, but like Willem Dafoe's character as well. Like you said, he was trying to have this date night, and it kept getting interrupted, and you could see the frustration and annoyance on Willem Dafoe's face because he's a fantastic actor. And yet, did he respond with irritation? No, he jabbed at him a little bit, but understood Odd is trying to do a good thing. He's assuming that Odd is trying to be a good person. He is respecting Odd's ability and, like, shows patience and understanding. You know? He's like, he'll answer the phone and be like, "You've got to be kidding me." But at the same time, he's like, "No, tell me what it is. Okay, this is what we're going to do about it. Thank you for informing me." You know, like, wow, respect, patience, good friendship. Wow, look at that. Yeah, the relationships in this are all good. I love that the town is all like, he's so weird, but like they just let him be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe, same thing. They was like, yeah, he's weird. You get used to it. It's fine. He doesn't hurt anybody, you know. Um, I love all the acceptance and love in this movie. It's so good. Um, I I even like that they showed her not talking. Right, like it is only when Willem Dafoe walks in and says like, No, she's actually dead, man. Like the way he tells him is just gross to me. It's cruel. Uh,
Yeah.
Everything else about it, I was like, that ending. Come on.
Like, yeah, I feel like they could have done something like, oh, sorry, is Stormy here? And she's like right there or something. Um, if
Yeah,
they
like
had to have that
have
reveal.
Willem Dafoe not know the whole time, right? Then it's
Yeah,
not cruel. Then he's like, oh, okay, we have to correct this. Then he's being a good friend. But Willem Dafoe knew the whole time
yeah. And then chose that
and
moment.
just let him to believe it. And then weeks passed, and they're like, okay, you've had your time with her. You need to let her go now. It's like, holy crap, what a way to throw this guy back into grief and kind of have to process all of grief in all of 5 minutes now. Um, yeah, it's really missed the ending there. Like I said, if they would have just ended it ambiguous if she was actually dead or not, I would have been like, great movie, loved it, loved the ending. But the way they answered it, the way they dealt with it, was just
Yeah.
not my cup of tea. Didn't like that.
Yeah, well, as my rating, I literally am the same rating for you for the like for the same reason. It's because of the ending. Not because she died, but yeah, I'm with you. I wish there wasn't that William Defoe scene. 9.5. So
Okay, there you go. Conlon, if you're listening, you're gonna watch it. He's gonna report, or he's supposed to report on it next week.
I feel like he's
As
gonna
the
be a
stand,
hater. Just kidding.
he is gonna be a hater. He's gonna listen to this and then he's gonna watch it, and his expectations are gonna be out of whack.
All right. Well, with that, be an odd Thomas, not a Notting Hill, and have a good week.
Yeah, great message.
Great.
Love it.
All right.